Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Friday, October 20th, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. We're going to get to Brock Purdy responding to accusations of being a system quarterback in a minute. But first, we always start every show with the injury report. And this isn't just an injury report today. It's like a who's who of the 49ers. The following players did not practice: Dre Greenlaw, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Aaron Banks, who apparently has an ankle injury, and, of course, Christian McCaffrey. Now, Kyle Shanahan did call McCaffrey's MRI, quote, encouraging, and he said that the injury is not a rib issue. It is an oblique issue, which take that with a giant grain of salt. In other injury news, Isaiah Oliver was limited, but good news, Elijah Mitchell and George Odom did practice in full. Now, remember, this is a Monday night game, so everything is pushed up a day. So the most significant practice for the 49ers is actually going to be today because the game is a day later. So keep an eye on that injury report. That'll tell you a lot about who can and can't go on Monday night. Now, before we get to Kyle Shanahan, more from his press conference, let's listen to Brock Purdy. He was a guest on the Rich Eisen Show, and Rich just flat out asked him, what do you say to people that accuse you of being a system quarterback?
Oh, man, I would just say, I don't really care in a sense. I just want to win. I want to help this team win. People can say what they want. That's cool. I just want to help this team win and reach our goals. And then we'll see at the end of all this if that's true or not.
That is exactly the response that Brock Purdy should have. Look, it's not his job to beat the court of public opinion, right? It's his job to beat the opponent on the other side of the field. And let's just face it, other than last week, that is something that Brock Purdy has done relentlessly. It doesn't matter what fans think of you. It matters what you do on the field, and it matters what your head coach, Kyle Shanahan, thinks of you. So, Kyle, what did you think of Brock last week, and what do you think he'll do this week?
Brock missed a couple, so it wasn't his best game. I still thought he made some real good plays, too. Everyone was under duress in that. It was a challenge on all fronts, and especially some of the down and distances we were in. But it definitely wasn't his best game, but just because it was his first loss and his first pick of the year, I still thought there was a number of things he did real well in that game, too.
Following up on that, how are you expecting him to respond on Monday?
Same way he always does. I mean, we'll see. It's the first time responding to a loss, but in terms of not designating wins or losses, if we would have won in the last play of the game, he'd still have to respond the same way. So it's him just doing his job and coming in here and being the same way he's been since the day we've met him. And I don't think we're stressed about that too much because I've never seen a different guy.
One of the things we're going to find out together is how Brock Purdy responds after losses, how he responds to adversity. We haven't seen a ton of it yet, and we're going to find out on Monday night. And that's okay to say because it's also part of the fun, right? That's the fun part of having a young quarterback. Let's watch it together, and hopefully good things happen. Now, one last quote for you today. It comes from Nick Bosa on the defensive side of the ball, because I've been saying all week about how it's been a really long time since the 49ers had a game that they felt like they actually lost, because the NFC Championship game was so weird that it almost didn't feel like they lost that game. But they lost the Cleveland game. They haven't felt that in a very long time. So long, in fact, Nick Bosa didn't quite remember what to do.
It was tough. We had to kind of eat it for an extra day, and then we were kind of dreading coming in here to do the meetings, but it's been a long time since we lost. I actually forgot what the routine was when we lose, when it comes to like team meeting and all that stuff. I was, because our regular season last year, we didn't have one for a long time, and it happens, so we got to bounce back.
In a perfect world, the loss to the Browns is just a refresher, and the Niners come out Monday and boat race the Minnesota Vikings. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Friday. If you're wondering how Jake Moody is recovering from missing the game-winning kick last week, Cam Inman got some really good quotes for him in the Mercury News. Basically, he's gotten some words of encouragement this week from people you might not expect. If you want to read the quotes, click the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch, keep an eye on the crowd Monday. Minnesota can typically be a very difficult place to play, but we may have another takeover on our hands. According to Vivid Seats fan forecast, 43% of the crowd at US Bank Stadium will be in 49ers red. And by the way, that doesn't even account for people that already live in that part of the country that are 49er fans that are planning to attend the game. So the 49ers may be able to take a significant home field advantage away from the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, that would be good news for San Francisco. One thing you may have missed. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Christian McCaffrey coming over from the Carolina Panthers, and what a success it has been. In 17 regular season games for the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey has over 1,900 yards and 20 total touchdowns. Better than anybody could have hoped that he was going to be. Worth every damn draft pick it took to get him. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. If you want to help the show, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Pods. That helps push us up the charts so more people can discover us. And obviously, it's exactly what we want. Like and subscribe to the YouTube page as well. We are live pretty much every single day of the week. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. I will be live with Michelle Majuk around 9:15 Pacific time. We'll preview the game. We'll go over best bets. We'll go over fantasy advice. You definitely don't want to miss that. Join us live and bring your questions. And one more note, the crossover podcast this week, I just taped it last night with Paul Allen. He calls the Vikings games on the radio for KFAN, their flagship. He is the best play-by-play announcer in the NFL, and he's just a fantastic person that I've gotten to know personally over the years. It's going to be the crossover podcast. It's going to come out tomorrow. Definitely check it out. He gives good insight in the Vikings and just a couple other really cool tidbits about the job and his career. Definitely worth your time. Enjoy your Friday and your weekend, everybody. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.